and so egregious, and nobody in the mainstream media talks about it. Only we talk about Kelly Thomas, a homeless man being punched to death repeatedly by cops when his dad was a former police officer who instructed people on the proper way to engage the public. And we don't even have a discussion in this country about what the proper, let's call it, rules of engagement, for lack of better terms. How are the police going to conduct themselves? And we just had another case of a cop who was escorted a lady to a domestic dispute because there had been a dispute between she and her husband, and there was a restraining order against her. So he was there. An argument broke out between the two of them. The dog started barking, and the deputy sheriff pulls out a gun to shoot the barking dog, who was no threat to him. He somehow falls on the ground as he's shooting and continues shooting and shoots a lady in the chest multiple times and kills her. I mean, that's the kind of Barney Fife, over-the-top, crazy rules that we see of engagement that the police are acting, and nothing is being done. He's not going to be charged for anything, not for negligent use, negligent homicide, nothing. And of course, he's going to remain a cop, and that's where we see that everywhere.
Yeah, I think there's some crazy statistic, which is something like there have been more Americans killed by police in the last year than something like the last 30 years in the UK. It's something like that.
Yes.
But as far as I can tell, it must be due to the training, because when you watch videos of police training, in fact, I remember posting one in an article, it was out of Austin, I think, it's literally like a military boot camp where they're being trained to take on an enemy.
And where is that training coming from? It's coming from the federal government. We know that. And even in New Mexico, where, remember the case where they shot the homeless man just outside of Albuquerque in the hills, and that did become viral. It was in New Mexico at the state level that you had an instructor saying, I'm not going to teach this shoot first curriculum. And they had changed that. That was dictated from the federal government. They want to militarize the police. They want to have confrontations. They want them to get violent with the public. It's being driven from the federal government. And there are officers at the state level, at the local level, who are pushing back against it. Unfortunately, their only choice now in most cases is what this guy at the state police academy in New Mexico did, and that was resign, because the system had moved on and had left behind officers who wanted to have a sane, balanced response to situations. I tell you, if you've got to shoot a pregnant woman, if that's your only way that you can control a situation with a pregnant woman, you should not be in the job, period.
Well, I mean, you remember the target, you know, the billboard targets that they were selling to Homeland Security, one of them was of a pregnant woman.
Yes.
But
yes, true.
The whole perception of American police from a, you know, objectively, if you live outside of the United States, is that they're this predatory gang. I mean, one of the iconic images of American police is just them hanging out on a highway generating revenue and then shooting people. Those are the two most familiar things that people would associate with American police from an outside perspective.
Well, from somebody who's grown up here, that's the way I would look at it, basically.
Yeah.
Is the same way I would look at it. That's a pretty true perception, unfortunately. It used to be that there was a joke about, you know, heaven was, you know, where you would get the best of all these different places. You know, hell was where you would get the British cooking and the German police and so forth and so on. But now the American police have taken the place of the most oppressive police. Of course, the German police got that reputation because of Hitler, because of the Stasi. But we have gotten far worse than the German police ever were. And they have more power and more information about everybody than the German police ever did.
No, and I mean, you know, the majority of police in America will, you know, they're perfectly fine and you won't have any problems with them. But it's just this gang mentality that infests a lot of it. You know, the roid heads and the tattooed ones. It's not like that in Britain. I mean, the police are corrupt. They're completely corrupt, but they don't go out in a predatory fashion to attack the public and look to escalate violent confrontations. It's all about de-escalating violence.
Yes.
In America, it seems like the opposite. It seems the first chance they get, even if you merely speak back to them, they will use that as an excuse to escalate the situation if they don't get instant obeyal from, you know, a member of the public.
And here's the thing that we need to talk, as you point out, we're not trying to do a blanket condemnation of police. As Frank Serpico, who we've had on this program many times, if people are young, they may not know the movie Serpico with Al Pacino. You used to see it. It's a great film, interesting, true story. But we've had Frank Serpico on many times. He talks about people being points of light who are in the system, who speak out against what's happening there. In his day, what was happening was corruption from the war on drugs, and it was a financial thing. But he pointed out that today, there's this brutality issue. That's really the bigger challenge. And of course, that I would argue has come out of the corruption with the war on drugs. But when you don't stop it, and as he said, you're always going to have, in any profession, you're always going to have good people and you're going to have bad people. I mean, we were just talking about journalism. Look at the situation that happened here. You've got Rolling Stones has done some great journalism, especially Matt Taibbi about bankers and that sort of thing. But you've got different types of people there. Once, though, you have a system that does not punish wrongdoing, then the system itself accepts that wrongdoing. It excuses it. It internalizes it. And then you have systemic corruption. And that's the problem that we have here in America today, because the brutality is not being punished. The people are not being fired or put in jail. And so the system itself is accepting it, rubber stamping it, and becoming systemically corrupted. Thank you so much, Paul. We're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us today. Paul Joseph Watson.
Thanks, David.
Thank you. Stay with us. We'll be right back, and we're going to take your calls in the next hour. I want to finish up with some news that we didn't cover earlier on. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Communist China freely allows the sale of bulletproof armor plates, while our U.S. politicians argue from banning Americans from owning body armor.
Does that sound right to you?
Arm your American body at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Last year, in the Nevada desert, one family took a stand for freedom. Numanna Food Storage was the first and only company to support the rights of the Bundys. While others stood down, Numanna took donations and provided storable foods to the men at Bunkerville. Founded by patriots who believe in liberty, Numanna Food Storage is GMO-free, great-tasting, and easy to prepare. Food is freedom. Buy Numanna today at PowerPrepper.com. Numanna Food Storage you'll love to eat at PowerPrepper.com.
InfoWars Life and InfoWarsLife.com is extremely excited to announce our latest release, Winter Sun, a revolutionary type of vitamin D3. Winter Sun is a premium quality vitamin D3 nutritional supplement. It is produced by extracting oil from healthy, nutrient-dense plants known as lichens. Every batch is analyzed for purity and D3 content. It's completely free of toxins and allergens. Simply put, if you want the best at an extremely low price, this is it. Winter Sun is the result of our pursuit of the best source of vitamin D3. The research and development took over 2 years, but the result, as verified by independent laboratories, is the best vegan vitamin D3 product in the world. Read the facts at InfoWarsLife.com about Winter Sun Vitamin D3. Not only does vitamin D3 promote a healthy mood, but vitamin D supports our memory and brain function, something the globalists are targeting. Visit InfoWars.com today or call 888-253-3139.
Why use dial-up when you can use broadband? Why travel with this when you can use this? And why would anyone use colloidal or ionic silver when you can use supernatural silver? Supernatural silver is state-of-the-art, and it's been clinically proven to be several hundred times more effective than those other silvers. It's powerful enough to protect you and your family from the threat of deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. But it's so safe that it can be used internally or topically. And you'll never again deal with the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics. Hundreds of scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions have all shown supernatural silver is a powerful weapon in the fight against invading pathogens. Supernatural silver is a must-have for your arsenal. Go to supernaturalsilver.com today and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off. Give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Big John, Big John. Every morning at the mine you could see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip, and everybody knew you didn't give no lip.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today. I'm going to take your calls in the next hour. 800-259-9231. That's 800-259-9231. I wanted to go over a little bit more news that we didn't cover. A lot of things are happening right now. Before I do, I want to let you know that we have Winter Sun, our newest product, available at InfoWarsLife.com. And, of course, it's something that we call it Winter Sun because you get vitamin D. Your body produces it when exposed to sunlight. If you're indoors, because they run you indoors, saying that you can't play outside. Of course, they're doing that with children right now. They're going to do that to adults sooner or later, say you can't play outside, go sit inside, hang out on social media, watch television. You can't get outdoors or we'll arrest you because for your own good, you know, just to keep you safe. But no, to keep you safe, to promote your health. And actually, you need to understand that vitamin D is really a vital nutrient. It supports your immune health, your organ health, your bone health, your nervous system support, and your brain health. We have a source of it that is D3. It's not D2. It's not synthetic. It is a natural source. It's the best source of vitamin D3 that we could find. Again, that's Winter Sun Vitamin D3. You'll find that at InfoWarsLife.com, or you can call 800-253-3139. Now, we were talking earlier in the program about the fact that Rand Paul is going to announce probably tomorrow that he's going to run for president. Of course, the elephant in the room that everyone is talking about is Jeb Bush. He has so much money. We've got an article that's up on Drudge today. Gary Hart is talking about a $1 billion Clinton campaign. He said that should frighten Americans. I think it should. I think we should all be frightened about how much money is pouring into the coffers of Clinton and of Jeb Bush. You know, it was H.L. Mencken that said an election is an advanced auction of stolen goods, and he was exactly right. Guys, pull up that clip with Jeb Bush on Hugh Hewitt. Because, you know, when you give $1 billion to Hillary Clinton, and we see that happening all the time, I mean, we could wind up having a $2 billion presidential campaign. And that is just a prescription for disaster. That is an advanced auction of stolen goods. But Jeb Bush went on the Hugh Hewitt show, and Hugh Hewitt is a conservative, a right-wing conservative, as I would call him, a real warmonger. And they were talking about the NSA and Jeb Bush's love affair with the NSA. And, of course, this is a conversation that happened right after the shooting of the two men dressed as women, the two transvestite prostitutes that had stolen a car or whatever and hit the barrier. But this is the way they responded to that. Let's play that audio clip.
Let's turn to the serious stuff. I want to start with the attack on the NSA today. We don't know much about these two people. Probably terrorists, obviously. Probably, yeah, it's a terrorist attack when you attack the NSA. How great a threat of lone wolf terrorism do you see right now, and what should the country do about it?
I think it's a serious threat in a world where we're so connected with the rest of the world. We have people moving in and people moving out.
Okay, pause that there for a second. Pause that. Okay, so it's a serious threat. It's a lone wolf terrorist. Okay, so we know that because, you know, they attacked the NSA, and even though there was two of them, it was a lone wolf. I tell you what, in Washington, if you get lost or if you get panicked, just make sure you're not dressed as a woman. You know, make sure that you're dressed like a Secret Service agent, because then you can crash the barricades and nothing is going to happen to you. But of course, he's going to go on and tell you how much we need the NSA. But of course, the NSA can't even protect themselves. Let's continue with that tape.
Everybody gets to listen to your show to get all their information. Bush. People get their information in different ways. They get disaffected, disillusioned, preyed upon. And so, yeah, I think that this is an ongoing threat, and I hope that our counterintelligence capabilities are always vigilant. I've always been nervous about the attacks on the NSA and somehow that we're losing our freedoms by keeping the homeland safe. I think we need to be really vigilant.
That's where I was leading. There is an element within our party, and I'm a Republican, you're a Republican, that has grown Snowden-esque in certain ways and very, very anti-surveillance. But in a world where people are attacking the NSA, I don't know that we have an alternative. So how do you balance those two things out?
Well, okay, we'll be right back and play the rest of that clip for you. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
InfoWars Life and InfoWarsLife.com is extremely excited to announce our latest release, Winter Sun, a revolutionary type of vitamin D3. Winter Sun is a premium quality vitamin D3 nutritional supplement. It is produced by extracting oil from healthy, nutrient-dense plants known as lichens. Every batch is analyzed for purity and D3 content. It's completely free of toxins and allergens. Simply put, if you want the best at an extremely low price, this is it. Winter Sun is the result of our pursuit of the best source of vitamin D3. The research and development took over 2 years, but the result, as verified by independent laboratories, is the best vegan vitamin D3 product in the world. Read the facts at InfoWarsLife.com about Winter Sun Vitamin D3. Not only does vitamin D3 promote a healthy mood, but vitamin D supports our memory and brain function, something the globalists are targeting. Visit InfoWars.com today or call 888-253-3139.